What's up, guys? Skippy After China's here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the Bryson 800 from Modern Warfare 2, or as it's known in real life, the Mossberg 590. The Mossberg 590 stems from the Mossberg 500 line of shotguns, which features an assortment of different models. The original 500 line hit the market in 1961 and was initially intended for your average hunting shotgun role. However, it didn't take long for the shotgun to begin to find its way into the hands of law enforcement. And not only law enforcement, from there the military was also beginning to cast its gaze on the shotgun as well. The Mossberg 500 would soon be submitted to military trials in the 1970s. However, it would not meet the standards that the military was looking for, at least immediately, specifically failing the Mil-Spec 3443E protocol, which involves firing 3,000 rounds with no more than 2 malfunctions. During testing, however, slight tweaks and improvements would be done to the Mossberg 500 in order to better pass military trials, and not too long after, the military would begin purchasing the shotguns in small numbers, starting with the Navy and Coast Guard, who initially bought around 5,900 shotguns. Now, in 1987, they would go back to producing the original Mossberg 500 at a cheaper cost. And by original, of course, I mean the one that didn't have all these slight tweaks and modifications that was made specifically for military trials. They wanted to make it more of a cheaper shotgun for the civilian market, and they felt that a lot of those additions really weren't necessary. And the 500 that did have all the tweaks and upgrades added to it would be officially designated the Mossberg 590, or in some cases the 590A1. And do note that between all the guns the military purchased, there was a lot of variation between batches depending on what was wanted at the time of order. So you'll notice stuff like some having heat shields and some not, or the Navy shotgun having a thicker barrel to prevent damage from heavy ship doors. Now, the shotgun would encounter its first actual use in the 1991 Gulf War, serving primarily as a gun to guard ammo depots with. And it would, of course, continue to find use in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, serving most of the time as a door breacher. Which, side note, I had always assumed that shotguns used for door breaching were just like, your standard shotgun with nothing really special to them, minus, of course, breaching shells. But in doing this video, I learned of a neat little device called a breaching choke that's specifically designed for breaching doors. Now, it may sound weird to need such a device, given a shotgun should really have no issue in breaching a door, but what this little piece does is actually two parts. Number one, those serrations provide a better grip on the door itself as opposed to your smooth-ended barrel, negating any potential slipping problems. Second, these holes ensure that gas can be more safely vented so as to avoid a barrel rupture, as completely blocking the muzzle end when firing can have some very bad results. Now, the 590 would not last too long in military service, with the Benelli M4 being fully deployed with Marines in 2001 and with other branches to follow. Plus, add to that, the Army was looking into the M26 modular accessory shotgun system and would begin fielding those in 2010. The last real note of importance with the 590 was the introduction of military enhancement kits for the shotgun in 2009. These came with things like a collapsible buttstop, shotgun retention system, receiver railing, fore-end rail system, and breaching barrels. And in total, only around 1,301 shotguns would actually end up being converted. Now, the United States was not the only user of this shotgun, with quite a few other countries also picking them up in various different configurations, depending on, of course, what their police or military wanted. Now, when it comes to how the shotgun itself actually works, it is pretty darn similar to how most other, tube-fed pump-action shotguns themselves work, with a little bit of difference in the parts. Essentially, the shells are loaded into this tube from the back through a loading port. These shells are held in place with these two metal fingers. As the shotgun is racked back, this locking block is forced down, and this piece, the lifter, begins to move slightly upwards as the bolt rides along this portion right here until it eventually falls. When it falls, it pushes against these two metal tabs, releasing a shell from the tube. Now, the shell in front of the one that was just released will be held in place by those metal tabs as it goes back into place. As the pump moves forward, the bolt rides along this curved piece on the lifter, causing it to go upward and place a shell into the feeding position, to which it will be picked up by the bolt and then chambered. At the very last bit of travel forward with the pump, that locking block will then go back into its locking recess, and you're ready to fire the next shot. As mentioned, if you're familiar with how a lot of pump-action shotguns work, it's pretty much just operates like most all other pump-action shotguns, with, of course, just differing parts. But anyways, I think that is going to do it for this short little video on the Bryson 800 from Modern Warfare 2, or as it's known in real life, the Mossberg 590. I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as I personally enjoyed making it, and I will see you all in the next Guns of Modern Warfare 2 in real life video.